This week, we're going to look at some current GFS data and make a map using the declarative plotting interface and start working our way towards spherical calculus with MetPy 1.4. Welcome to another MetPy Monday. Hello, I'm John Lehman, a software engineer for Unidata. This week, I want to start looking at how we can use some real-time data because we use a lot of canned data in our examples. But let's use some real GFS forecast data and make a basic map, and then we're going to add on to that things like vorticity and divergence that we can calculate correctly now using MetPy 1.4's projection-aware calculus. So this week we're going to get the data, we're going to do some basic mapping, and then we'll start doing the advanced math on it. So to get that data, I'm going to use the threads test data server, which is at threads-test.unidata.ucar.edu. From there you get to this page, and I'm going to go to forecast model data. I'm going to use the GFS half-degree forecast. And out of that we can get different collections or a specific run. And we'll just use the best, which is the most recent forecast for a given time point. So we'll use best for that. But what I really need is this URL up here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. If I want to go into the best and pick, say, the NetCDF subset service, which is what we're going to use, I can see all of the different variables and some more information here. All right, so I'm going to go into my notebook, and of course the first thing that we need to do are some imports. I'm going to import MetPy so we can use the MetPy parsecf accessor. I'm going to import Xarray as XR. From datetime, I'm going to import the datetime object. From Siphon.catalog, I'm going to import the threads data server catalog object. From Xarray.backends, I'm going to import the NetCDF for data store. From MetPy.plots, I'm going to import the contour plot, the map panel, and the panel container. So we're going to use declarative plotting. And from MetPy.units, I'm going to import the units registry. Okay, so what we're going to need to do next is get our thread data server catalog. So I'm going to call that cat, and then paste in our URL. Now, if you run this, you'll get a warning that says, I'm changing this to be XML because Siphon is looking to parse through an XML file. It will still work, but it's best practice to go ahead and change that. Okay, so now we can see what's in our catalog by calling cat.datasets. And just as we suspected, the datasets are the full collection, the best, and latest, which we saw in the web interface. I want to use the best, and I want to use the NetCDF subset service to access it. So on my cats.datasets, I'm going to get the best GFS half-degree forecast time series. Tab complete is your friend here. And I want to run a subset on that. Now, it may have been a while since you've used the NetCDF subset service. So as a reminder, the first step is to build a query. So we need to create a NetCDF subset service query object. Then we're going to set some properties of that. So for time, I'm going to use a date time 2023 117, and if we leave everything else, it's going to be 0, so that'll be a 0Z, which is all that's available currently. I'm going to accept a NetCDF file back. You could, of course, accept text, but that would be giant. And we can list the variables that we want. Geopotential height, isobaric. And of course, the great thing about using the subset service is the whole GFS run is massive. So here we're only getting what we need. I don't need all the variables. In this case, I just want geopotential height, the U component of wind, the V component of wind, and that's it. We could add a lat-lon box as well if we wanted. In this case, I'm just going to say add lon lat, so we get our coordinates back. And once we've created our query, we haven't actually got any data yet. We need to go get it. So my data set is going to be ncss.getData of our query. So that's going to run and go out to the server, make this request. The server, the thread server, is going to parse down the entire grib file into what we've specified: time, heights, variables, geographic bounds, and so on. Package that all up in a netcdf file for us and return that across the network. So the server is actually doing quite a lot of work. Now we need to turn this into an X-array data set just so it's nice and easy to work with. I'm going to use X-array's open dataset method. And we need to wrap this in a netcdf for data store. We're going to use MetPy's parsecf to parse the CF convention information. So now if we look at it, DS, we see that it is indeed an X-array dataset. It has 1 time, 361 latitudes, 41 heights or isobaric levels, 720 longitudes. And down here in our data variables, we have our 3 data variables that we wanted, as well as lat-lon. And of course, in attributes, there's lots of great information as well. So now, how can we make a basic plot before we start doing some math with this? Well, let's say we want to make a plot of vorticity, which was something we'll compute, and geopotential height contours. Okay, so we need to use our declarative plotting interface to create a contour plot. That plot, remember, goes on a map panel, and there can be more than one plot on a map panel. Then the map panels go onto a panel container, which contains 1 or more map panels. So our contour plot, we're going to create a contour plot object. I'm going to set my data to be our X-array dataset DS. We need to specify the field, which is going to be geopotential height, isobaric. We need to specify a level. I'm going to make an 850 hectopascal map. I'm going to set my line color to be black, and I'm going to set 30 contours. Now we need to create our map panel. I'm going to create an instance of the map panel object. I'm going to set my panel area. I want a pretty broad area for this plot so I can see what's coming onshore and what's going off. So let's go minus about 135 to minus 60 in longitude. And let's say 15 to 58 in latitude. Our layers, I'm just going to put a coastline, borders, and states on. We could, of course, color things like land and ocean, but we're going to be putting an image plot over this anyway, so we don't need to do that. Could set a title if I wanted. We'll call it GFS map for now. And then we need to put our plots on it, which is a list. In this case, it only has 1 element, which is our contour plot. And we'll add more to that next week. There's our panel. And finally, we need a panel container, which we generally call PC. I'm going to set the size of that container to be 10 by 8. Again, a list of panels, though it just has 1 panel. And then we'll call pc.show. So now that goes through and runs all of our plotting methods and creates this nice declarative plot. If we want to make sure that we've done this right and that our projection math is working magically as it should, we can go look at the SBC map for the same time. This is, of course, an analysis map, but we see something that looks very similar to the best GFS forecast. So we're well on our way. Next week, we'll look at doing some math, and that's a new thing with MetPy 1.4 is we can do math correctly on the globe with spherical derivatives. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you on next week's MetPy Monday.